Hey guys, welcome back to Patreon. Sorry for the absence. Life's been busy, been doing a lot of classes, but we're back and wanted to talk about something that we see a lot, which are common issues that we see in night vision and low light classes. And for that video, I have brought in arguably one of the best subject matter experts in that field. Please welcome my friend, your friend, Don Edwards himself of Green Line Tactical, the motherfucker in charge making the fucking grass grow over there. So
it's the
Don,
nod father.
The nod father. Exactly, the
Right.
nod father.
Right.
So anyways, we teach night vision and low light classes all over the country, probably what? 12 to 15 classes a year?
Most of the year, because we used to have night fighter season from time change to time change in the winter, and it just keeps spreading and spreading, and we actually are about to put one on the books in the middle of the summer this year, so whatever. Yeah, at nighttime is when we do this stuff all the time.
But go ahead and just talk about some of the things that you see, we see.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about this all the time. A lot of times, usually it's the topic of conversation on the way back to the hotel and stuff like that. Is just little things that we see that guys could do better, or the corrections that we end up having to make. And we both agree, right, that probably the number one thing is guys are biting off more than they can chew by taking night fighter before their skills are where they need to be.
Right.
And it's weird, and I'll let you jump in here, but I've seen a trend, or a lot of us have, where some people are, the night vision is really popular. And guys are getting the night vision equipment, and then they're taking night classes before they've really become students of the gun during the daytime. And that's really kind of putting the cart before the horse, I would say, or whatever. You really need to show up as a competent and proficient, not only shooter and gun handler, but student, right? So even if you just shoot a lot and you're good with a gun, if this is one of the first times or the first time you've ever been in a class environment on a range, that's not going to be good. Because if this is a foreign thing to you, being on the line with 10, 15 other guys at night, you're not going to really be getting the information that I'm putting out, that we're putting out. Right? That's the biggest thing. It's like, you paid your money. I want you to get your money's worth. So by set yourself up for success by being ready for the class, not just by having all the gear, but being an experienced student of the gun already.
Yeah, there's kind of an art form to being a student, being a good student. It requires a little bit of effort on your part to show up kind of in the right mindset, mind frame to take on the information we're putting out. And as far as like doing stuff during the day, I would say, conservatively speaking, doing stuff at night under nods is about 3 times harder than doing stuff during the daytime. So if you're not, and I'm not saying you've got to be, a ninja master with your rifle during the day, but if you can't competently load and unload your gun and sling your gun, and do a rifle to pistol transition during the day, man, you are really going to struggle at night. It's about 3 times as hard. And
what do we say? As soon as you put a gun in their hand, your IQ drops like 20%. As soon as the sun goes down, you lose another 20%. Night vision, 30-degree field of view, flat screen in front of your eyes, you know where we're going with this.
Oh, the next thing we see is improper or suboptimal setup, especially with the rifle. Handguns to a certain extent, but it's usually the rifle. And I'm going to let Don kind of talk to that, but some things are okay, some things, but go ahead, Don.
Okay, well, I mean, we talked about that. I was like, okay, what exactly do we mean by this? Sometimes it is, whether or not guys will bring a white light or not. Obviously there's a white light on the packing list as well. But we do get guys say, "Oh, we needed a white light on our gun." Like, yes, this is, it's on the packing list. So first of all, let me back up and say, do yourself a favor and read the course description a couple of times and see what equipment. If we took the time to put it on there, then that's something that we need you to have. Placement of the laser and light and stuff like that. I get it, especially if you're new. I don't expect you to be an expert. That's why you're coming to class. But if you have questions, go to our social media accounts and those of the people that we associate with and do stuff like this with. Odds are, if you kind of try to copy our stuff a little bit or get some inspiration from it, you'll be at least 90% there when you show up to class.
Yeah, we don't just haphazardly
we didn't
put
just
stuff
make it up
in certain positions on guns. It's thought out, and there's a method to the madness.
You may show up with your gun set up like mine, not really understanding why. You will by the time the course is over with. And you may move it a little bit.
And what works out well, LARPing in your mom's basement, doesn't necessarily translate to actually shooting and moving and doing all kinds of weapons manipulations.
But it might.
It might, but it might not. So be prepared to make some changes to your gear, and that's okay. Again.
Yeah.
So,
But don't feel like you have to have everything perfect. Do your best. Show up with the best setup you can, and be as educated as you can be. I don't know why I'm looking at the ground over here. I'm looking at my own hands.
low self-esteem.
Yeah, that's it. And then we will get you the rest of the way across the finish line. That there's no need for you to be perfect. You know, with us say paralysis by analysis. You can worry about whether or not you have the right gear so much that you never show up. Bring what you got. If you need to rent gear from us, we have nods and helmets and lasers. All you have to bring is your rifle with a white light on it.
And we're probably gonna set your rifle up similar to this stuff if you do rent gear.
Right.
So you'll be, a little bit ahead of the power curve if you do rent the gear.
And the only other thing I'll throw in there under the what we would call suboptimal weapon setup would be quality. There are a few different like white lights, weapon lights that are considered top of the line. That's what you need to go with.
If your white light doesn't start with a Shure, a Mod, or a Cloud, probably we're not going to recommend it as
There's
a
a good
weapon
chance it might not even make it through the weekend.
Yeah.
And you'll learn, and then you'll have to borrow something from somebody or whatever. Now, run what you brung. If that's what you got and you don't have, I get it. You'll learn, and you'll know what you need to get next time. And that's another thing. That's why I don't tell guys, run out and buy all this stuff. Because you may buy stuff that you didn't need and regret it when you got here. So to a certain extent, be as prepared as you can, but don't go overboard thinking that you have to spend a buttload of money and then at
throwing
the end
money at problems you may not have.
At the end of the course, you're like, man, I really didn't need to buy this or this thing right here. It's kind of neat. Come to class. Come to class and learn, and then go spend your money as a wise consumer.
Yep.
Is that...
I would
got a
agree
little
with
bit
that.
off track on that.
No, I would agree with all that. If it, don't do something that's blatantly retarded, like no PEC 15s at the 6 o'clock position of your rail.
Yeah.
That would be dumb.
Yeah.
But everything else, come do some discovery learning and then maybe change your stuff around. Finally, the last thing we see, and this goes for daytime stuff, nighttime stuff.
Yeah, this is not just Night Fighter.
Any class, anything you can think of, whether it's our classes or somebody else's class, is going too fast. Whether that's moving, whether that's shooting, whether that's manipulating the gun. Mm-hmm. It's just like if you're unfamiliar with the technique, don't go your 100%. You're probably going to botch it up. So.
Yeah, and I'll elaborate on that. We do see it a lot, especially in the Night Fighter courses. And the reason for that, I think, is the average person that signs up and takes a Night Fighter course is quite experienced. And usually you guys are accomplished shooters. So you can go fast, and you show up at the Night Fighter course, and maybe it's your first time with nods, or maybe it's not, but you don't do it a lot. And that's when the wheels start to fall off the cart, because you're trying to push yourself. And I don't know exactly why. If you're trying to show me how fast you are, I don't care. What I care more about is seeing your progress over the weekend and light bulbs come on and stuff like that. That's what means most to me. If you're trying to impress the other people in the class, guys, don't. Come to learn. But what happens sometimes is that fast, jerky movement, or trying to go through a drill like the Xbox really fast, you're missing the point of what we're trying to teach. And it's not about going through fast. We do these shooting exercises, and we say this all the time, that we're shooting, but it's not really about the shooting. It's about the night vision. It's about what you're learning while shooting, right? We're here to integrate the night vision technology and the white light technology into doing things that you already know how to do. So if you're trying to go Ricky Bobby with this stuff, it tells me that you're probably not grasping what we're trying to do under internalizing. It's probably not sinking in the way I hoped it would. So take your time when you're in a class, slow down, acknowledge that everything in the night under nods and in the dark is more difficult and usually takes longer.
Yeah. I'd rather see slow and good than fast and shitty.
Right.
So
right.
Those are some common themes, things
Right.
that we see in night vision and low light classes. When the sun goes down and the visibility gets reduced, that's when a lot of things really come to the surface, come to the light, and we see it. And we don't necessarily see it during the day, but like a lot of things are highlighted at night. So
right. Well, we find out what we're not as good at as we thought we were.
Right.
You know, for example, not looking at your gun when you're clearing a malfunction or conducting a reload or holstering your pistol. We may think we're good at doing that stuff during the daytime, but as soon as you can't see, it really shows you whether or not you can find that holster with your pistol or get that magazine in there, because everything's blurry and it's dark and you have restricted field of view. So that's another case for slowing down.
Yep.
Right. Practice it during the day. Practice doing it well. Like I said, speed is a natural byproduct of the mastery of the fundamentals. Practice being good at it before you practice being fast at it, because it's going to slow back down at night.
Yep. And if you can do this stuff with some semblance of mastery at night, then you're probably awesome during the day.
Yeah.
So basically, don't even train during the day anymore. Just exclusively train.
Well, when
at
you
night.
have night vision, is there any reason to shoot during the day anymore?
Work on your tan, maybe. I
Yeah.
don't know. You have poor friends. I don't know. Other than that, that's the common issues we see at night vision and low light classes. Guys, get out on the range and practice that stuff during the day, so that when you do show up to a class, you don't have to be, SEAL Team 6, but you do need to be a good student, and you do need to know how to operate the gear you showed up with. So take that on board. Take it or leave it. I don't care, but try to do that. And again, thanks for being a patron. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for being here, Don.
No problem.
We'll see you out there.
Nice shirt.